I feel like we've been talking about tires a lot on this channel and my other channel, but here we are again with another tire video. Someone in the BMX Nerd Network was asking about tires, and he says, I'm looking for the lightest tire in all of BMX, and right now I'm looking at the Fly Treble tire. On the Fly BMX website, it claims the treble is 496 grams, 17.4 ounces. I find this a little hard to believe, as nowhere in it listed as marketed towards being the light tire. Fly doesn't market it as a light tire, and so he's confused and he thinks that maybe this number is a mishap. And so I would say that if Fly says that that's the weight of the tire, it's just really not a mainstream tire. It's not a super popular tire. But let's talk about some other tires that are light and are good quality. The first tire we need to look at is the Eclaw Fireball tire, and this is not a light tire, but I want to point this tire out for some reference. Okay, this tire weighs 745 grams, 26.3 ounces. That's like, what is it, 32 ounces is 2 pounds, so that's a pound and a half for one tire, a pound and a half for a tire. So this is why tires are so important. The weight of your tires are just going to be crucial for upgrading your bike and having a lighter bike. Okay, so 745 grams for the Eclaw Fireball tires. They cost around $30 to $35. But when we look at some lighter tires, some better options, my favorite is always the Demolition Momentums, and that weigh around 19 ounces or 545 grams. They're not super lightweight like the tires we're about to talk about, but they are significantly lighter than the Eclaw Fireball. They're actually heavier than the Fly Treble tires, which is surprising to me. But the reason that these tires are great, because they're affordable. Only 25 bucks, you get some pretty lightweight tires that are decent. Now, when you really get into the weight thing here, you're gonna run into some options like the Maxxis Grifters and the Tioga Power Blocks. There are a few other hardcore lightweight options, but for example, the Grifters are Kevlar, so they're gonna be very expensive. They're about $42 per tire, but they only weigh 452 grams. So now they're even lighter than those Fly Treble tires that are mentioned, and they have that Kevlar bead, like I said, so they're durable. They're a little bit thinner than most tires, so if you're riding on something that's susceptible to getting stickers, maybe you want to stay away from these tires. Weight shouldn't be your main concern anyway. If you're riding prime skate parks, weight should be your main concern, and then these tires are a good fit. But an even lighter tire is going to be the Tioga Power Block tire. These are it's a weird name, and you'll see some park riders riding them. They have very minimal traction, very minimal rolling resistance, and they're designed for purely skate park riding. The Power Block tires are quite a bit cheaper than the Maxxis Grifters. They're about $34, and they come in a whole bunch of different width options. You can get them all the way from like 1.95 to 2.2 inches wide. The 2.2 inch option is pretty hard to find, so most people settle with the 2.1 inch option. And this is how they're able to maintain such a lightweight. The 2.1 inch option goes under 400 grams at 395 grams. So this tire is about half the weight of the Eclaw Fireball that we talked about earlier. Half the weight. This is an incredibly light tire, and it's actually only $32. But when you look at the tread design, you're gonna realize why most people don't run this tire unless they're riding skate parks specifically. Also, some people complain about not having very much width there. I personally like 2.3 to 2.4 inch tires. It is a preference thing, but if you're really concerned about weight and minimal rolling resistance, these are the best option. All of this to say that there are a lot of tires out there, and you ultimately want to find one that fits your riding style. Some people would rather go with those Eclaw Fireball tires because they're good for street riding. They're thicker, they've got heavier compound, you can ride over stickers, and you're less likely to get a flat. You can find tires that are better for your type of riding. For me, the Momentums and now the Maxxis Grifters have been really beneficial for my riding, but it might be different for you. If you're curious about what tire to buy, ask in the comments or the BMX Nerd Network. You can join that network. The link for that's in the description. There's a ton of BMX riders who can answer your questions, and you can talk about tires all day if you want.